This week's Torah portion is called Naso, and in it we read about Berchas Kohanim. We read about the blessing that the Kohen is taught to bless the people with. So in this week's Torah portion, God teaches Moses to teach Aaron, his brother, the threefold blessing of the blessing that God wants to confer amongst the Jewish people. And Aaron and his descendants are tasked with being the conduits for bringing this blessing into the world. So it's a three-part blessing. I'm going to read it. May the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. So I want to break this down, and I want to speak about this because this is still done today. In Israel, it's done every day. Outside of Israel, it's done in traditional synagogues on the Jewish holidays, that the descendants of Aaron, the Kohanim, the priests, get up onto the bima. They stretch out their arms, they cover their heads with the talis, and they face the Jewish people, and they say these three blessings to the Jewish people. And we understand, it says in our tradition, that God is standing behind the Kohen as these words are being said and conferring blessing onto the people, that the Kohanim, the priests, are the conduits for bringing divine blessing into the world. May the Lord bless you and protect you. This, we understand, is a blessing of material success, that we should be blessed abundantly with everything that we need. It's a general blessing. It's not everybody gets everything. Everybody's rich. Everybody has lots of children. Everybody has lots of houses. It's a general blessing that we get what we need to be the best person we could be. So what we have and what we're blessed with is what we need, and that should be protected. So that's the first stanza. May the Lord bless you and protect you. And I heard a very interesting teaching from Rabbi Foreman that likens this to a fetus in utero, that the baby that's growing inside the mother's belly is completely taken care of, has everything that they need. They have the right temperature, they have the right cushioning, they have the right amount of food and oxygen. Everything that fetus growing inside the mother's belly has is what it needs to survive and to thrive. And so too, we want that for ourselves. And the Kohen, when he's blessing the Jewish people, does it bi'ahavai, does it with love. And I believe it's the only blessing in the Torah that has to be given with love. That has to be said with love, that the Kohen, when he's blessing the Jewish people and is the conduit for divine blessing, has to have an intention and a concentration of love and concern and care and responsibility for the Jewish people, that he's connected to the Jewish people with love. And that's a prerequisite for being able to stand up on the bima and confer this blessing from God onto the Jewish people. So the first one is a material well-being, that we should have everything we need materially, and that will be protected. The next stanza, may the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. And again, Rabbi Foreman likens this to a toddler. The mother looks at the toddler and you just shine your face. You just smile at this toddler. It's so cute. You love the toddler unconditionally. The toddler can keep you up at night. They can make a lot of noise, make a lot of mess, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. You just shine your face. You just smile at the toddler because you love unconditionally this creation, this little being in your midst. And so too, that's the blessing that the second stanza is blessing us with, that God should shine his face upon us, that God will be there for us, that we can learn, have a relationship with God, that we can get the smile, so to speak, of God onto us and feel the blessing of spiritual connection and wisdom and understanding of the world, that's the spiritual blessing that we're going to be blessed with, please God. And finally, may the Lord turn his face unto you and give you peace. That peace, we understand in the Talmud, teaches us peace is the receptacle for blessing. For blessing to come into the world, we need to have peace. And if you understand that Aaron, the brother of Moses, who's being given the task to be the conduit for blessing to the Jewish people, Aaron epitomized a person who sought and ran after and tried to create with all of his energies peace between people. Peace as the vessel, as the conduit by which blessing can come into the world. So and again, go back to the Rabbi Foreman analogy that this is the individuated adult child in relationship to the parent. So we're looking horizontally, not down onto the toddler or in utero, but the adult child we continue to love, we continue to bestow our blessing upon, we continue to want to be in relationship to. Perhaps we're more partners, or perhaps we're more equal in a sense, but there's still an unconditional love that the parent has for the adult child who has individuated from them. So too, we look for that kind of relationship with God. Sometimes we're the fetus, sometimes we're the toddler, and sometimes we're the adult, and we're the partner with God in the world. And we crave and we want the blessing that comes from God alone, only comes from God. We don't have the power to bless people, but we have the power to use our words to bring divine blessing into the world. And what's interesting is that when we bless each other, that God sees that we, so to speak, God, that there is an understanding that we love each other, there's a concern for each other, that there's greater blessing and greater abundance will come into the world because of our concern and love for each other. And what's interesting is that in the center of the tabernacle that the Jewish people traveled with, in the very center of that, around which all the Jewish people encamped, in the very center was the Holy Ark. On top of the Holy Ark, which housed the tablets of stone that Moses broke and the tablets of stone that came down whole and all the Torah wisdom, the Torah was in the Ark. On top of the Ark were two cherubs carved out of pure gold. And when they faced each other, that was an indicator that the Jewish people were at peace and were in love with each other, that there was a peace between people. And in that space between the two cherubs who were facing each other, indicating that the people were at peace, the divine presence could manifest itself, could speak. There was the Shekhinah, the divine presence came into the world through between these two cherubs. So too, if you think about the Kohen who's standing in the synagogue with his arms outstretched, facing the Jewish people face to face, that's where the divine presence can rest. And what's given one of the reasons why we don't look at the Kohen when he's giving the blessing of the Kohen, because we understand the Shekhinah, the divine presence, is there bestowing blessing upon us. And actually what's really also very interesting is that there's a prayer in our tradition to say, as we are being blessed by the Kohen, there's a prayer that we say that any dream we had, that we may have had, that may be a negative dream or a scary dream or a dream that had negative connotations, that it all should be interpreted for good, that all our dreams should be interpreted for good, that while we recognize that the divine presence is here in our midst, when we recognize that there's a Kohen with love blessing the Jewish people and we're receiving the blessing and God is blessing us with material wealth and spiritual wealth and with peace, then we can ask for our dreams that may be negative to be reinterpreted for positive. And we do that in this space because there's the divine Shekhinah, the divine presence is there and has the power to turn everything to good. So I just want to go over what it is that we're receiving when we listen to and we're present as the Kohen, the Kohanim, the priests, the people who are descended from Aaron are blessing the Jewish people, that they are given the task of being the conduits for divine blessing to be bestowed upon the world, upon the Jewish people, and we receive that. So we're face to face, the Shekhinah is behind the Kohen, through the hands are coming this divine blessing, fast tracked down from the higher worlds into our midst to bless us with material success, each one according to what it is that they need, that we're blessed with spiritual understandings and wisdom and connection to God, each one according to what they need. And finally, that we're like adults in an adult relationship whereby we are individuated, but we're still receiving unconditional love, unconditional blessings, and that God should bless us all, and we should continue to bless each other, that we should continue to use our words to ask God to bless each other with all the things that each one of us needs.